Hey everyone, BHV here. It's that time of year again. It's the NCAA tournament. I don't think I've filmed myself making the picks in a long time anyways. We're going to get these glasses on so I can read everything right. And of course, come on. I'm attending the University of Illinois in the fall to study journalism. I had to wear this hoodie. They made the tournament, and so did a bunch of their other Big Ten foes like Iowa and Indiana and Northwestern. You don't like them. Michigan State got in. Penn State got in. Purdue got in. Is that all the Big Ten teams, or did I miss one? Oh, no, Wisconsin didn't get in. God, they suck. So anyways, we are now going to take you to the NCAA ESPN Tournament Challenge. And here is the bracket, or at least a portion of the bracket. We're going to start in the South region. We're not going to ramble on any longer. We're going to get started with the South region. I got game times on my phone over here. In the South, the number one overall seed in the tournament, Alabama, against the winner of Texas A&M Corpus Christi and Southeast Missouri State. That game's tomorrow at 5:40 Central. This game, Alabama versus that winner, is on Thursday at 1:45 p.m. in Birmingham, Alabama. This sub-regional is in Birmingham. As you can see, I'm going off the team summary. They're rolling as, again, they may be the nation's most complete team. They're paced by Brandon Miller offensively, and their defense is frustrating opponents. The lowest field goal percentage against, it's hard to pick against Alabama here. In fact, that might be the easiest pick of the first round. Now let's get to a harder one. 8th-seeded Maryland against 9th-seeded West Virginia. This is at 11:15 a.m. on Thursday, March 16th. Jameer Young and Julian Reese lead the Terrapins, one of the top teams in adjusted offense and defensive efficiency. If you can turn the ball over rarely and play great perimeter defense, that'd be pretty good. But if you're getting into foul trouble, I mean, come on. You got to be more disciplined than that. Looking at Virginia, or West Virginia. Virginia's coming later. They're probably going to lose first round to Furman. We'll get to them. Ugh. That might be controversy right there. Causing problems for teams by crashing the boards and generating additional shot attempts. There you go. Best rebounding teams in the nation. Rebounding's a big one. If you're struggling from three, though, I don't know. God, this is a coin flip for me. Second game, and it's already a coin flip, dude. Like, why? The 9 seeds have won 11 of the last 16 meetings with the 8s. Man, this is a tough one. Of course, I forget about Maryland, the other Big Ten team to get in. Ooh. This is tough. I'm going to go with Maryland. I think Maryland's pretty good. This could be your first major upset right here. I think this is a potential upset right here. San Diego State and Charleston on Thursday at 2:10. Game in Orlando, Florida. If you've only lost 3 times since December 10th, that is insane, San Diego State. Utilizing a 9-man rotation and smother opponents, ranking in the top 10 in defensive efficiency. That's pretty good. No game-breaking star for Charleston. 5 players in double figures, though, on a nightly basis. That's big. I'll tell you what. There's a guarantee in the NCAA tournament. There are going to be upsets. When you're making your bracket, it is a matter of finding the upsets, picking them out, and going with your gut. Oh, man, this is hard. Oh, this is so hard. I'm doing it. Charleston's going to beat San Diego State. I'm going to get so much scrutiny for making that pick. Furman and Virginia. This game's on Thursday at 11:40 a.m. These all times are in Central Time. If you're an Eastern Time person, just add an hour. Like, some of those late games are at 10 o'clock out of the West region. Virginia's led by Kihei Clark as one of the best offensive teams in terms of assist to turnover ratio. That's pretty good. So they melt time off the clock and they rely on efficiency, and that keeps a lot of their games close. Now, the possession count limits their upside. They do have 3 guards that shoot it consistently from deep, and they need those triples to come in at the right time. Looking at Furman, their first time in the tournament in 43 years. And they're relying heavily on Relying heavily on the 3, Illinois. And, top 10 in points per game. Not strong defensively. Faced by SoCon Player of the Year, Jalen Swanson and Mike Bothwell. I feel like this is going to be a good game. Furman's going to battle. Virginia, they play in a weak conference. The ACC is not very good. Dude, I'm not sure. I'm not really sure who to go with. I feel like I got to go with experience here, so I'm going to go with Virginia. Now we got Creighton and NC State. First and second round games in Denver, Colorado, home of the Avalanche. Creighton and NC State. That's on Friday at 3 o'clock. Looking at the summaries. A complete, well-rounded team as their 5th appearance in the past 6 NCAA tournaments. Ryan Kalkbrenner, 2-time Big East DPOY. One of the nation's best interior players. A balanced offense that makes free throws and shoots reliably. They lean heavily on their starting five, so any fatigue or foul trouble will expose an inexperienced bench. And the Wolfpack excel in transition. And with wins over Duke and Miami in a 2-week stretch. Inconsistent defense and a lack of reliable depth. Now, a lack of depth seems to be the issue with both of these teams. Ooh, this is hard. Again, it's trying to find the right upsets. I always feel like I'm going to screw it up. This is a tough one. They have the quality wins. Duke and Miami. How do you lose 3 times to Clemson? These stats may not be reliable. Beat Xavier, beat Providence, beat UConn. They played Arkansas, beat them. They only lost by 2 to Arizona and by 5 to Texas on the road. I feel like I got to go with Creighton. Simply because they have the quality wins. Baylor and UC Santa Barbara. Now, they were here last year and they lost to that same Creighton team. Now, looking at the summaries, so they're entering as a dangerous team once again. I feel like they're going to win this game. By the way, spoiler, I am picking Baylor. But I want to look at the summary still. A high percentage of their shots from beyond the arc. Keontae George, Adam Flagier, I think that's how you say that. Or Flagier, I think it's, or Flagler. I can't read that. LJ Cryer, a team to watch, and they can shore up their defensive struggles. Efficient offense with each of their top 6 scorers shooting over 46% from the field. So they lose 4 or 6 in February, and now they're on a roll with 7 straight. And here's the problem with UCSB. This last sentence. Lack of high-level competition. That's why I'm picking Baylor. In other words, they don't play anybody. That's why I'm going with Baylor. This might be upset city right here if I can be convinced by the summaries. By the way, that Creighton game, the Creighton-NC State game's at 3 o'clock on that Friday. Baylor-UCSB is at 12:30. This game between Missouri and Utah State's on Thursday at 12:40. First and second round games in Sacramento, Colorado. Tigers offense that has a roar that can crap. Tigers offense has a roar that can put up points. Defense lacks some bite, and they give back a lot of points. They play aggressively behind the arc and force opponents into turnovers and turn fast breaks into points. Worst rebounding teams in the tournament? If the shots from Kobe Brown and Demoy Brown aren't falling, it'll be a long day. Aggies are fun to watch. Nation's most efficient offense? One of the most? From inside and outside. I'm convinced. Give me the Aggies. Give me the Aggies in an upset over the Tigers of Mizzou. At 3:10 p.m. that same day, it is Arizona against the Ivy League champion, Princeton. Experienced group led by Azuolas Tubelis and Omar Balio in the front court. Exceptional on offense. Most efficient teams are equally dangerous from 2 and 3. Their lack of depth is a weakness. That's been a thing every year for Arizona. They rely on Tosin Evbomwen. I'm 100% positive I mispronounced that. Proven capable of delivering time and time again. You know, I want to pick Princeton, but I am going to go with Arizona. I don't know if I have them going too deep. I think at furthest I have them going to the Sweet 16. Let's move to the East region. So you've got your number 4 overall seed in the tournament. It's Purdue. I have a friend. My best friend is a Purdue fan. She's pretty happy. Boilermakers are playing standout basketball entering the tournament. One of the top teams in the nation, led by Zach Edey. I know this, being an Illinois fan. And of course, it's pretty easy. Can we just do this real quick? There. I just saved you 2 minutes. So we're just saying all the 1 seeds win, unless one of these teams pulls a UMBC out of their butts. Now, this one looks like a blowout on paper because, you know, FAU haven't really been around the tournament, but I'm not convinced. Because I just looked at the summaries. By the way, that Purdue game's at 5:50 on Friday. This one's at 8:20. First and second round games in Columbus, Ohio. They turn defense into offense, one of the best fast break points. A team that thrives inside the arc and push the pace offensively. Kendrick Davis and DeAndre Williams are leading scorers. They don't rebound particularly well, and they're vulnerable to hot three-point shooters. When the Owls are making their second NCAA tournament appearance, but they won't be happy to just be there. They've won 31 games with a balanced attack that ranks 40th, top 40 in the offensive and defensive efficiency. This is tough. I feel like I want to pick FAU here. I feel like I got to do it. Do I want to do it? Is this where I pull out one of my 8-9? Or do I do it with Arkansas, Illinois, or Iowa, Auburn? I feel like I'm going to pick Iowa here. Spoiler. I'm doing it. FAU beats Memphis. I'm just convinced. Did Memphis win in this tournament last year? They played Boise State. I know that. I think Boise State beat them. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. First and second round games in Orlando, Florida. The first one, Duke and Oral Roberts. I was going to pick Duke, but then I looked at the summaries again. This one's on Thursday at 6:10 at Amway Center. Rebound roughly 56% of missed shots, making them one of the very best teams in the class. And I'll tell you what, Duke has been hot lately. Kyle Filipowski is a double threat and can punish defenses. Duke can go ice cold from 3, though, and that's a weakness given this era of basketball, Illinois. Will Duke really be a tough out? Now, Oral Roberts made the Sweet 16 2 years ago as a 15. They're not sneaking up on us this year. They're on a 17-game winning streak. They shoot the ball well, and they rarely turn it over. But will they turn it over against Duke? This is really... I pulled my 12-5 upset with Charleston. Ooh. Do I want to pull another one? Am I really going to have The Duke Blue Devils out in the first round. I need to look at the results. Lost by 38 to Houston? Good God. They only lost to St. Mary's by 8 on the road. I'm doing it. Duke's out in the first round. Oral Roberts is going to do it again. We're not sleeping on him this year. Here's some upset potential right here. I think this will be another one. At 8:40 on Thursday, Tennessee and the Cajuns of Louisiana. I mean, second versus 99th, but here is the key. They lost Zakai Ziegler to injury earlier this month, but Santiago Vescovi stepped up as the focal point of the offense. And they also have an elite defense. They're an elite rebounding team, but they struggle to cash in easy points at the line. But they're accurate from distance and give some upset intrigue in the right spot. I'm doing it. We'll have a 13-12 in the first round right here. Duke and Tennessee are both going to be out in round one. That's pretty remarkable. We're going to move on to first and second round games in Greensboro, North Carolina. On Friday at 6:10, it's Kentucky and Providence. One of the best at out-rebounding opponents and scoring in the paint. Double-double machine down low. They haven't been as sharp as previous years, but will still offer a challenge to opponents. They've had turnovers and foul trouble in critical games. I wonder what games those have been. I wonder if it was the Gonzaga game, the Bama game, the Kansas game, this Arkansas loss, the Michigan State loss. They beat Auburn by 32. Okay. Providence, meanwhile, not your older brother's Providence team. Ed Cooley's squad isn't as defensively sound years past. They make it up with the most efficient offense in his 12-year history with the Friars. Offense among nations. They're 1-5 when they've lost the rebounding battle. That convinces me enough to pick Kentucky. I'm going to go with them. I think Kentucky will win a couple games. Could they beat the winner of Kansas State or Montana State at 8:40 that same day? They're backed by a stellar defense, and the duo of Keontae Johnson and Marquise Noel, high-scoring duo there. They rank high offensive and defensive efficiency, but they turn the ball over at an alarming rate, apparently, and struggle in transition. Who knows? This could be our 14-3 upset that we need to watch out for. Only one loss since mid-January and are among the top teams in the nation. Points scored from the free throw line. Raekwon Battles is player to know. He's averaging 17 points per game. If they can knock down a few early triples, their slow pace and solid defense can make a high seed sweat. I'm probably going to go with Kansas State. I just don't see enough out of Montana State. Michigan State and USC. This is on Friday at 11:15 a.m. First and second round games in Columbus. I was originally thinking USC, but then I looked at this. USC lacks bench depth and tends to stick to a 7-man rotation that could come into play further the Trojans advance into the tournament. And they only have 2 players that average double figures in scoring. Boogie Ellis and Drew Peterson. Now, stifling defense inside the arc is their calling card. Now let's look at Michigan State. Red-hot three-point shooting and improved play from key players like Tyson Walker and A.J. Hoggard. Or Hogard? I think it's Hogard. The concern for Michigan State is the defense. If teams can hit a high percentage of three-pointers. This is a coin flip for me. This is a good one. Do I want to go with my gut and go with USC? They usually win a game or two. I'm doing it. USC wins. Did I go with the 10-seed upset here? Yes, I did. So I have a couple of 10-seed upsets. And the thing is, you don't want to pick too many upsets, which is why I might have screwed up. This right here, this might be your 15-2 upset. At 145, on Friday. They have a fascinating tempo, one of the fastest on offense, but they can slow the pace to a crawl defensively. And it prevents them from getting into track meets. I don't know what that means. They can run into trouble against paint-dominant teams that clean the glass and convert second chances. Let's see if Vermont does that. They've won 15 straight, and they do it by taking care of the ball and three-point accuracy. The Vinicius versatility senior Robin Duncan gives the team a higher floor unless you see it this low. There's been a 15-2 upset in each of the last two tournaments. Looking at the other games, UCLA and UNC Asheville and Texas and Colgate, Arizona Princeton, I don't think that's it. I think this is it. Vermont's going to beat Marquette. That'll be the upset of the tournament right there. And, of course, USC will beat Michigan State. I picked, 5 upsets in here? That's the thing. I don't want to pick too many upsets. Because I think I might have done just that. We'll scroll up a little bit. As you can see, I already picked Houston to beat Northern Kentucky. I mean, look at this. Not strong offensively. They do have a big-time shot maker. They force his turnovers on heavy, but they struggle on the defensive glass. And look at this. Number 1 seeds are 147-1 against 16 seeds. That should say enough, so I went with Houston. I'm going to pick Iowa here. I already thought about this game behind the scenes. That's on. By the way, Houston, they're the number 2 team overall in the tournament. I'm still kind of sick. Remember that. This game's at 550. The other one's at 820. The Hawkeyes, one of the best offenses in the nation, ranking top 4 in offensive efficiency, and they take care of the ball with one of the lowest turnover rates in the country. They struggle on the defensive end of the court because the other teams just run with them. Iowa likes to play a fast game. I know this being a Big Ten fan. They play a fast game. Auburn gets to the line regularly, but they send their opponents there just as often. And I'll tell you what, 3-8 in an early exit in the SEC tournament, that convinced me enough to pick Iowa over them. Miami and Drake. Now, I was originally thinking Drake could pull off an upset. I need to look at the summaries again. This is on Friday at 6:25. Isaiah Wong helped lead this team on a nice run at the end of last season, and he's done it again. But he's a true threat from distance as well. Now, lack of size on the roster, but there are a few offenses consistent as Miami. Drake has an experienced starting 5 whose average age is 23. Youngest is Tucker DeVries, 39% from 3. And he was the MVC CPOY. That's pretty good. And although they're capable of busting brackets, they didn't do it last time they were here. And they sure as heck won't this time. I am going with somebody's got to represent the ACC. And I've been high on Indiana all year. I'm just going to go ahead and hurry up and pick them over Kent State. This game is at 8:55 that Friday. That's pretty late. Undersized, they're gritty and use pressure to turn opponents over. They played a tight game with Houston and Gonzaga on the road. They're capable of busting brackets. One of the most complete teams in the NCAA tournament, led by his All-American center Trace Jackson Davis, and led by Big Ten FOTY Freshman of the Year, Jalen Hood-Schifino. I think that's how you say that. Excellent inside the arc, and their defense is strong. This is completely accurate. They lack size in the front court, though. However, I'm still leaning on them to win. I think they'll win a couple games in the tournament. This will be a good game with Miami here. Scroll down a little bit to some more first-round games in Greensboro. This one on Friday at 2:10 p.m. Iowa State against the winner of Mississippi State and Pittsburgh. That first 4 game is tomorrow at 8:10. And by the way, this first 4 game between Texas Southern and Fairleigh Dickinson is on Friday at 5:40. All first 4 games are in Dayton, Ohio. Looking at Iowa State, it sure as heck helps to have the teams. I think the first 4 should be part of it. Iowa State, one of the strongest defensive teams in the nation, excellent at forcing turnovers and crashing the glass offensively. Struggle from three, but X Factor players like Cal Shore might have them playing inspired basketball in the Big Dance. Gabe Kalsher, yep. I feel like... Should I play my upset card here? Did I pick an 11 seed? I did not. I haven't picked an 11 seed yet. But I think I'm going to do that here. Spoiler. I don't know. I'm going with Iowa State. And I'm going to go with Xavier here. I'm generally picking the 3 seeds. And is it me, or do I think... Yeah, I go with Xavier over Kennesaw State. I think I picked all 10-7 upsets. I'm going to change this one here to Michigan State. I was confident in USC, and that was kind of a weak pick with USC. I'm changing this one to Michigan State. Lack of depth is going to be an issue against a team like them. A&M and Penn State. First and second round games in Des Moines, Iowa. That Xavier Kennesaw State game, by the way, it's on Friday at 11:40. This one's at 2:10. This one is on Thursday at 8:55. How far in are we? God, we're already 30 minutes in. I told you. I always take forever. So I scroll down. Perfect storm of a team that grabs offensive rebounds, gets to the line, makes free throws. If they're not getting to the line, it could be trouble as A&M does not shoot well from the field. That already convinces me that Penn State is better. I'll tell you what. Penn State has momentum right now. They are a literal assassin. Led by Jalen Pickett, they have multiple dynamic scores, makes them very difficult to defend. And you know what? I am going with the Nittany Lions. Excuse me. The Nittany Lions of Penn State over A&M. Yeah, that's right. Big Ten over SEC. Ha! How about that? Texas and Colgate. I was originally looking at this as my 15-2 upset before I went with Vermont over Marquette. Texas is one of the best teams in the country. They won the Big 12 tournament title. They beat Baylor. Or, no, they beat Kansas. My fault. More than half of the Longhorns' scores come from assists, and they rank as a top team in the nation in adjusted defensive efficiency. Never heard of that. They don't draw many fouls, and they struggle from three. They're not expected to win a game this tournament. Yeah, that's enough. We're gonna go with Texas. I was already convinced enough to go with Texas. That game is on Thursday at 6:25. Moving to the last region in the West, I already picked Kansas over Howard. That game is on Thursday at 1. The MEAC, I don't know what that means. I did it again. There we go. I don't think they're going to be able to... I don't think they're going to be able to beat Kansas. Bottom line. Arkansas and Illinois. This is my cup of tea right here. Oh, no. I'm going to look like such a douche if I pick Arkansas. But I'm going to look like such a homer if I pick Illinois. That's the thing. If your team's in the tournament, see? Illinois. That's the thing. If your team's in the tournament, you're stuck in a rut. No matter who you pick. A block party for the Razorbacks. Arkansas' scheme makes nothing easy for opposing shooters. Inconsistent three-point shooting has led the team to create more opportunities inside the arc. Opponents with tight zone defenses have been a problem. Illinois has a pretty good defense. They enter the tournament as a strong defensive team. There you go. One of the best in the nation. Meyer is not very good, by the way. I'm just kidding. I actually have no idea. They do struggle offensively, and the only reason they're a bad three-point shooting team is because they take too many. They take way too many threes. And they're also pretty bad from the only good free throw shooter on their team is Shannon. That's it. Boy, this is a coin flip for me. Arkansas and Illinois, this is a coin flip. Like, Should I literally grab a coin and flip it? I have a quarter. See, there's a coin right here. It's a 2022 quarter. And we're going to go heads is Arkansas and tails is Illinois. Now we're going to flip it. It's tails. So you know what? I'm doing it. 8-9 upset. You usually have a couple of those every year. We're going with Illinois. I have to. I gotta stick with I gotta let my team win at least once. They usually do. St. Mary's and VCU. I think I have the pick in my head already. I feel like it's St. Mary's, but let me look at the summaries. The Gales are one of the nation's best defensive squads. They pressure the ball, block shots, rebound, and slow down the pace of the game. But they are making their shots. It's going to be a long night. Well, okay, VCU's a pretty good team. Strong defensively, able to force bundles of turnovers and pressure opponents even after they cross midcourt. Tend to struggle taking and making threes. Junior David Shriver is the lone exception, knocking out a high percentage of shots. How many 12-5 upsets have I picked anyway? I've picked 2 of them. God, this is tough. I'm going to do St. Mary's. That game between... By the way, the Illinois game in Arkansas, that's on the Thursday at 3:30. St. Mary's VCU is on Friday at 1. This UConn and Iona, not Iowa, is at 3:30 on Friday. A 14-0 start before settling into the conference schedule. One of the best teams on the glass. They boost reliable offense both inside and outside, and they rely on frequent ball movement. Rick Pitino, I forgot he was still coaching. I can't believe Rick Pitino is still around. I said the same thing for Boeheim. Iona avoids turnovers while their pesky defense forces deflections. Mac, player of the year, Walter Clayton, efficient scorer. I feel like I gotta go with UConn. You gone after you play St. Mary's. I feel like I'm going to have St. Mary's going too far. That's what I usually do with a bunch of these teams is I have them going too far. I send like a 5 or a 6 seed too far. But we're going to avoid that with TCU losing in the first round. Because look at this. Offensive production has been questionable. They struggle to make threes and spot-up shots. They've excelled at creating second-chance points. Shooting issues. This is why I'm picking against them. I don't know anything about Arizona State or Nevada, which that first 4 game is at 8:10 on Wednesday. This first round game is at 9:05 on Friday. First and second round games in Denver, Colorado. Gonzaga and Grand Canyon. I thought this was an easy Gonzaga pick. Then I looked at the summaries. One of the nation's very best scoring teams. They don't shoot the 3 very often, but when they need to. But again, who needs to? Drew Timme is looking to finish the deal in the tournament. They lose twice. And again, 3-point defense and free throw shooting has been flaws. Boy, this is hard. I feel like Gonzaga could be upset this year, but I can't do it. I'm sorry. I'm going to send them too far, aren't I? This is where I'm going to poke some fun when I'm picking with Northwestern. Northwestern's back in the dance for the first time in a while. One of the stronger defensive teams in the nation. Know that. They have great talent on the court in Bowie Barnheiser, Chase Audige, and Ty Berry. Shooting woes. Once they change, it can be hard to confidently back them. Boise State, 3 of their last 5 games they've lost. They've had long stretches of success. Their starters average doubles. Things drop off as the Broncos run. Their bench very little. This is a tough one. This is a coin flip for me. I don't know. This is tough. I don't know what it is about the Illinois Big Ten teams and their games being coin flips. And we're still in the first round. Like, this is taking forever. I think they'll win once. UCLA and UNC Asheville. That game, by the way, between Gonzaga and Grand Canyon's at 6:35 on Friday. Northwestern and Boise State 6:35 on Thursday. This one's 9:05 on Thursday. UCLA and UNCA. That's enough. Enough said. UCLA. So I think I picked every 3 seed, every 1 seed, and all but 1 2 seed. I feel like Grand Canyon is the most likely 14 seed to pull an upset. Maybe Montana State, maybe UCSB, but I just think none of them will. So I'd say I got a decent amount of upsets here. I feel like there's going to be one upset that I totally whiff on, and it's probably going to be this one. And then Marquette goes to the Final Four. Here we go, back to the top of the board. Bama and Maryland. Hopefully this goes a little faster. Alabama may be the nation's most complete team, paced by Brandon Miller, and their defensive frustrates opponents. Lowest field goal percentage against. Top teams in the nation in adjusted offensive and defensive efficiency. Rarely turn it over and play great perimeter defense. Tend to get into foul trouble often. With Alabama being one of the most complete teams in the nation, it's hard to pick against them. Moving on to Louisville. Charleston and Virginia. I think Virginia could get upset here. Now, thing is, Charleston does not have a game-breaking star. Virginia does with Kihei Clark, if you consider him a game-changing star. I've seen Virginia play once this year, and that was against Illinois. I feel like if they rely on efficiency on offense, that if that keeps their game too close, they could get upset. But this is hard. Now this is my issue. I always pick way too many high seeds to go to the Sweet 16. And that's because I don't pick enough upsets usually. I don't pick enough. So you got to be careful. God, this is hard. I feel like Charleston could move on to Louisville. Dude, I'm not sure. I'm really not sure about this one. This is going to be a good game. I'm going to go with Virginia. In the end, I think Virginia's got it. Charleston will win once, but that's it. Creighton and Baylor. So we've read all these already. And this is a hard one too. I'm going to go with Baylor. I feel like Baylor, again, being one of the best teams in the country, you got to have them going, right? this might be an issue for Arizona, having to play against a team like Utah State. Even though they lost 3 times to San Diego State. And Arizona beat them by 17. Offense is one of the nation's most efficient. God, this is... I feel like Arizona's overrated, though. Do I really want to be that guy that goes 1-4-2-3? I'm doing it. I'm going to go 1-4-2-3. I wanted Utah State to go further, but they ran into Arizona. But the problem is they're running into Baylor in the next game, and they're probably going to lose. Purdue and Florida Atlantic. These 1-9 games are pretty good. I'm trying to move a little faster with these games now that I kind of have an idea of how all these teams are. I'm still looking at the summaries. I'm going with Purdue. Purdue's got to make a good run this year. I know Purdue has not been great in the tournament historically, but they have to. They just have to. Purdue's got to move to New York. They got to play a game in New York. Oral Roberts in Louisiana. So one of these teams has to win. Like, you usually got to have at least 1 or 2 double-digit seeds make like a run to the regionals or whatever. Which one of these teams would be heading to New York? You know? Could Oral Roberts do it again? Or will Louisiana get absolutely destroyed? Basically, whoever wins this game earns the right to get absolutely obliterated by Purdue in the Sweet 16. God, I don't know why I'm having such a hard time with this. I always manage to overthink it. And then my bracket falls into shambles. I'm going with Oral Roberts. Oral Roberts beats Duke and Louisiana, only to get killed by Purdue. Kentucky and K-State. Which one is better? I'm looking at these wins. They beat Baylor twice? Did Kansas State really beat Baylor twice? Beat Tennessee twice. Lost by 16 to Gonzaga, 10 to UCLA. Only lost by 9 to Kansas. Beat Auburn by 32? Good Lord. Turn the ball over at an alarming rate and struggle in transition at times. Okay, we got a couple of Wildcats. I like Kentucky over Kansas State. I just feel like Kansas State is going to struggle in transition against Kentucky. And they're one of the best at out-rebounding opponents and scoring in the paint. I just think Kentucky's better than Kansas State. I don't know if I have them going much further than that. Vermont and Michigan State on March 18th. That's a Saturday. I think after, they beat Marquette, they're going to run into a juggernaut in Michigan State. And I'm sorry. Vermont fans, you're done. Your run is over. Your run is over. Houston and Iowa. Houston's the number 2 overall team in the nation. Excuse me. They beat St. Mary's. They beat Oregon on the road, beat Virginia. They have 2 wins against Memphis. But Iowa beat Indiana twice. And they beat Illinois by 2. Iowa struggles. They make a high percentage of their 2-pointer on free throws. I think Houston's going to be the first number 1 seed to fall. I honestly think that Houston will be the first one to fall. Because look at this. That's not the right game. The reason I think Houston will be the first number 1 seed to fall is because if you look at their notable results, I just don't think they have the quality wins that Iowa does. Beating Indiana twice, coming back the first time, and then absolutely killing them in Assembly Hall. Oh, boy. And speaking of Indiana, that's who I have winning this game right here. Iowa versus Indiana in the Sweet 16. A third time. It's hard to beat a team 3 times. I honestly think IU could go far. Just look at this. Purdue beat them twice. They beat Illinois twice. They have a win against Michigan State. That was probably at home, I believe. They beat Maryland. Yeah, they lost to Northwestern twice, but I think Indiana's better than Miami. Lack of size on the rosters is both sides. But Indiana's is only in the front court. And even if they have trouble extending possessions beyond 1 shot, just lean on Trace and Jalen Hood-Schifino. I probably butchered that again. I am going with Indiana. I'm trying to move faster with these picks, just so I don't keep you here for too long. Iowa and Indiana. Big Ten with a strong showing in the Midwest region. Iowa State and Xavier. I'm going to look at their notable results. How do they beat Baylor 3 times? Good, I'm going to have Baylor going too far. I might have to make a change. I'm going to have Baylor going too far. They're one of the strongest defensive teams in the nation, Iowa State is. They're excellent at forcing turnovers and crashing the glass. Meanwhile, Xavier, one of the terms most experienced teams, they tend to avoid turnovers and foul trouble. Have I picked a 3 seed to get there yet? Yeah, I picked 1. I am picking Xavier, but I think that might be the furthest they get. Texas runs into Penn State. God, Penn State's been an assassin lately. But do I think... No, they beat Illinois 3 times. ESPN, what are you talking about? They beat Northwestern 3 times. They beat Indiana 3 times. Unless I'm miscounting and they only played Northwestern and Indiana once before the tournament. And they lost 3 times to Purdue. Momentum matters. Penn State's on a huge run right now. I really don't know who I want to go with. This is a good game right here, and I feel like Penn State's a team that'll make like a double-digit run. Give me the Nittany Lions to beat the Longhorns. That's probably a mistake. History, though. So as you can see, my Sweet 16, Sweet 16 teams here. I think these teams here will play in Kansas City. Who's going to play in Vegas is the question. Kansas, Illinois, Kansas. It's pretty easy. I can't pick Illinois to beat Kansas. Illinois is not getting further than the second round. They didn't get further than the second round in 2021 or 2022. What makes you think they can get further in 2023? Because how do you lose 3 times to the same team? Like, if you lose to the same team 3 times in college basketball, you've got a ton of problems. Seriously. Even though they're strong defensively, but listen. Jayhawks are one of the most talented offenses in the country. Kansas is too good, dude. Give me Kansas. I think I have all but one seed in the Sweet 16. Yeah, because I have Iowa beating Houston. Kansas goes to Vegas. And the same will go for St. Mary's. I feel like I'm going to have them going way too far, as I usually do. I usually send at least one team too far, and that team is usually Gonzaga, because I always get thrown off by them. I get trapped. Foul trouble is a problem for UConn, and free throws are a huge part of the game. I just think St. Mary's is better than UConn. I know I'm probably crazy, but I am going with St. Mary's. And I'm going with Gonzaga to beat either Arizona State or Nevada. I just don't know enough about them. I think they'll win once, but no more than that. And by the way, spoiler, this is the furthest the Zags get. Northwestern and UCLA. Of course, Northwestern has the shooting flaws. And I think that's it for them. One game, that's it. You're done. Let's see, I have 3 1 seeds. Let's see, how many 2 seeds? I have 2 seeds only. I have 3 3 seeds. How many 4 seeds? I think I only have 1. I have 2 4 seeds. How many 5s? 1 5. 1 6. I have 1 7. I have a 10 seed. I have an 8 seed. I've got a 12 seed. I'd say I spread the wealth pretty well here with the Sweet 16. I sure hope I can make the right picks. Alabama and Virginia. That's not Vegas. What are you doing? These games are in Louisville. What are you talking about? Did I screw something up? Hold on. What games are in Louisville then? That says it's in Kansas City. This says Louisville. These games are in Louisville. How did I screw that up? Dude, how did I screw that up on my spreadsheet? I thought it said the South region was in Louisville. How did I manage to mess that up? The West region in Louisville? Get the heck out of here with that. Yeah, whatever. We'll move on past that. Sweet home Alabama against Virginia. That was horrible. This is a good one. Oh, my goodness. When Gonzaga was upset by Arkansas in the Sweet 16. I feel like either one of these teams that I have winning is I'm going to send them too far. Whoever I have winning this game, I'm going to send them too far. Dude, I have no clue. I feel like I got to go with Bama. I'm doing it. Alabama to the Elite Eight. Meanwhile, the other one is Baylor and Arizona, and this is where Arizona's lack of depth is going to bite them. We're going to go with Baylor. How about this? Bama and Baylor in the Elite Eight. That would be a classic. Now moving to this side of the bracket, Purdue and Oral Roberts. Can Oral Roberts pull off an upset this time around? I don't know. I don't know if they have the quality wins to back it up. Who was the team that ended St. Peter's run last year? It wasn't Purdue. Who was it? Who was the team that ended the run? It was North Carolina. Because Purdue lost to St. Peter's. How do you lose to St. Peter's? Dude, I have no idea who to go with here. I feel like Purdue is going to win that too. So we'll have 2 1 seeds in the Elite Eight. I feel like by doing that, though, I'll have too many 1 seeds there. Because I feel like I'm going to send Kansas too. Kentucky and Michigan State. This is... They only lost to Gonzaga by 1? Huh. Juggernaut, best at out rebounding opponents and scoring paint. This could be a high-scoring game. High percentage requires against them. This is a really tough. This is a really tough choice for me. I'm gonna go with Michigan State. Man, the Big Ten. I've got a strong showing from the Big Ten. Because look at this. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of their teams in the Sweet 16. I feel like I sent too many from the Big Ten. I feel like they're going to blow it. Purdue and Michigan State in the Elite Eight. Iowa and Indiana. It's hard to beat a team 3 times. Because look at this. Iowa's beaten Indiana twice. I feel like there has to be a day where Indiana runs with Iowa. And they did in the first game, and then they blew the lead. I've been high on Indiana all year. I'm staying high on them. I had to do it. Indiana in the Elite Eight. And they'll face the winner of Xavier or Pennsylvania State. Who will I have moving past them? Dude, this will be a good one down in New York. Penn State is a very good 10th seed. Like, Penn State is probably the best 10th seed I've ever seen. Seriously. I mean, look at the other 10 seeds. Oh, shoot. Look at the other 10 seeds. Boise State, USC's pretty good. Utah State's good, but look how far I have Penn State going against Xavier. I'm going with my gut, and I'm going with Penn State. We'll have 2 Big Ten matchups in the Elite Eight. Boy, this is a mistake. This is a big mistake. Like, hold on. This is a big mistake I'm making. Who's going to be the next 1 seed to fall? I think I've got both these teams going too far, don't I? That's what I feel like every year is I have them going the right length, but then I don't, and they go way too far. Dude, this is so hard. Kansas or St. Mary's? A 5 seed is never mind. Dude, I don't know. I'm flipping back and forth. I don't know who to pick. This is a coin flip for me. Hang on, I'm gonna do a literal coin flip. Kansas had St. Mary's as tails. And on tails, I'm gonna go with St. Mary's here. I feel like I've got them going too far though. Let me look at their summary again. You know what? No, I'm going with Kansas. The fact that I have 3 1 seeds in the Elite Eight, that's a mistake. I'm making a big mistake by doing that. And I'm going to have UCLA beating Gonzaga. So my Elite Eight is 3 1 seeds. No 2 seeds, oddly enough. I have 1 2 seed there, and I have a 3 seed there. And I have 1 4 seed, a 7 seed, and a 10 seed. Alabama and Baylor. Do I think Baylor can get back to a Final Four? Or will Alabama end that and get to a Final Four? Have they been to a Final Four yet? Dude, I have no idea. Is it Alabama or Baylor? I'm going Alabama. I think Alabama is going to be our first Final Four team at NRG Stadium. And we got Purdue and Michigan State. Both of these teams are inconsistent as heck, though. I know the Big Ten is inconsistent. I'm going to have 2 1 seeds in the Final Four, and I've put consideration into who I want here. I'm going to go with UCLA over Kansas, simply because I saw this sentence. Paths will repeat won't be easy. I am going with UCLA. And here, I feel like I'm doing it again. I got too many high seeds in the Final Four. Now, hold on a minute. Let me look at this matchup again. Lost twice to Purdue. It's hard to beat a team 3 times. Michigan State's in the Final Four. And I'm going to go with Indiana here because, once again, it's hard to beat a team 3 times. Right now. Why are you doing that right now? Why are you barking at my brother and his friend right now? Like, seriously? Seriously? I was so close to having no interruptions. Dude, I was so close. It's down to the Final Four. Alabama and Michigan State. I feel like I have them going too far. I've said this 1,000 times, this video. Just because of some favorable matchups. And the fact that I have 2 Big Ten teams in the Final Four. Because right here I'm going with Alabama. I just like Alabama here. Look at... I mean, again, most complete team. And I only have 1 seed in the Final Four, so you guys can't scream at me. It's not a 1-4-2-3. I'm not that guy. I'm not going with all 1 seeds. And in the other game, Indiana and UCLA. Dude, I've been high on Indiana all year long, and I think UCLA is super good. I'm going with Indiana. I think the national championship game will be Alabama versus Indiana. And the winner of the national championship. Looking at the numbers. Looking at the notable results. I think who am I more convinced by? Really? My dogs don't know how to shut their mouths. Alabama may be the nation's most complete team versus the Hoosiers are one of the most complete teams in the NCAA tournament. Brandon Miller versus Trace Jackson Davis. There isn't one specific flaw, but foul trouble and turnovers have been an issue in their rare losses. Indiana lacks size in their front court and have trouble extending possessions beyond one shot. Both teams have their flaws. And in this game, I'm going with Indiana. I think Indiana University is going to win the national championship in 2022. I'm not entering any of these sweepstakes in the championship. Final score. Oh, this is hard. The final score in the game, I think it'll be close. I think it'll be like 74 to... I'm going to go 74-68. 74-68, your final score in the championship. We're submitting. And I've picked the University of Indiana University. I almost said it. I almost screwed it up. So that's it. If you guys like this video, hit the like button. Subscribe if you want to see more. Hit the bell so you don't miss out. Share with friends is the way to spread the word. Until we meet again, it's goodbye.